Michael Renaud, how you doing? Welcome everybody to another episode of Fired Up Podcast with your girl Susan Gaytan over here, Director of Training for the Proactive Training Team, here with my other half, Michael Renaud, our
Hi,
CEO.
everybody. Here we are back on the East Coast, West Coast.
West Coast, East Coast, East Coast, West Coast,
Yeah.
whichever coast you prefer, we got you. We can represent you. Gosh, there's so much to talk about today, but I know that we have been talking about something real specific lately. It's been quite the topic for us, and it's been waking up certain dealerships.
Oh, I
And
thought you were talking about the Dodgers and the Mets. Oh, sorry.
well,
Well, one's on the
that's
golf
a
course
whole
and one's heading to the
other
World Series.
episode. That's a whole other episode. I won't.
No,
Nah,
we'll
I
do
won't
a
get into that.
post baseball
Man, you have no
season
idea. I'm like
recap.
ordering the gear already. It's crazy. Yeah, let's not get into that. Anyway, so we have been talking about accountability. Accountability. Yeah. Why does
Good
this
time.
matter today to not just dealerships, not just leaders, but to sales reps? If you're selling cars, why does this matter? Michael, this has just been the missing piece, it feels like. We brought this to the table at one of our classes and it's taken off from there.
Well, it's like we're afraid to look in the mirror. We're afraid to look in the mirror and say, okay, how are we doing? What's my report card on myself? How is my team performing? Are they performing where I want to be? I mean, I still find it shocking, and I guess maybe I shouldn't anymore after all these years, but I still find it shocking going through numbers with managers and watching their face be shocked like it's the first time they've ever seen this stuff. Like it's the
Mhm.
first time someone's ever like laying it out for
Mhm.
them in this way. And now they can look at their store in a way of, okay, how are we performing? What is the real middle of the pack? Because we go by our gut. Listen, when I was a desk manager, I went by my gut. Oh, this guy's this guy's that, this person's that. But then when you start doing the numbers, you're like, oh my God, she's actually this and he's actually not so this. And right, your perception of everyone changes just because the squeaky wheel is getting the oil doesn't mean the squeaky wheel is your best performer.
Well, and let me break this down even further because talking about, being a desk manager and looking, feeling out who is the closer and who's the strong one or not. We were one of those dealerships that were even a level above that and had the leaderboards. We had, everyone's name up on the board, but the numbers that we were looking at were not driving better performance. So we were just looking at who was closing the most deals, which I mean, let's be real. That's what everyone looks at, right? It's like at the
Well,
end of
that's
the
the
day,
great chipboard, right? I
right?
mean,
Like how many did you get out, right? How many cars did you move last month? What are you pacing this month? What did you do last year, this month, et cetera, et cetera. But we've discovered and we've known this is something Ellen has talked about, for decades. But in a training program like ours, and I love this because it makes us different, right? There's so many great trainers out there. Let's be honest. Okay, I know a lot of great ones, but I feel like the missing piece is tracking and monitoring and being accountable for your performance. And so looking at metrics that matter. And the volume, let's face it, that's just a byproduct of what you're doing in between sales, right?
right.
That's just the result of the activities between customers. So lately, so what Michael's referring to when we're talking about this, what we've started to really hone in on in our management classes is the lead conversion calculator, right?
It's
And
one.
yeah, this is thing that managers are like, I I feel stupid because I, you know, it's not that it's rocket science. No, it's not that complicated. It's just why have we not brought this to the table, especially made it visible to our sales teams? Because sometimes people look at it as managers, as leaders, like after the fact, right? But are you driving those numbers and are you showing your sales teams, right, where they're failing in between?
Right. And how are we growing? How are we developing? Right? That chipboard was great because it just showed us, hey, where everyone's doing in the month, who's number one, who's this, but it doesn't show us, great, that guy who's number one, who sold the most cars, but the reality is he took 3 times the amount of leads as everyone else, but only sold 3 more cars than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? So when you break down, then you go, oh my God, what is this guy doing to my marketing budget? What is he
Yeah.
doing to my ad budget? What is he doing to the opportunities that that 5, 6 figure budget is driving?
Right.
That's what the numbers give you. That's the details
Mm.
and that's kind of how the sausage is made. And that's the difference between good months and great months, or
Mhm.
salespeople that are in the bottom third growing to that middle or top third of the pack, right? You can't help that person grow without knowing where they're struggling.
Right, right. And that's plugging the leaks, right? Because that whole notion of like we need more leads, right? We're out of leads. We
Mhm.
have in fact there's a lesson that we teach on that vicious cycle, right? You raise a budget, you get your advertising budget to offer you something, put some campaigns in place or do something crazy with your website, and here come the leads. You're not tracking the leads. What are we doing with them? How many appointments have you made out of the 3,500 that you got, right? And then out of those, how many of those are showing up? And how is each rep doing in each of those categories, right? He might be selling the most cars, but like you said, how many leads is he burning through to get to,
Well,
right?
yeah,
And
that's
then
that's
you're back at square one. They burn through your leads, and it's like, all right, boss, we need more leads, right? So it is a vicious cycle, and it's a lot of money that is invested into, and really, I hate to say it, but that's wasted.
you're not even, don't hate to say it, because it is wasted. It
It's
is
it's
thrown
the
away.
truth.
Light that shit on fire. I mean, it
It's
doesn't
it's
matter. It's the same thing as the sales rep. Oh, great. Let's take the phones out of it. Take the internet leads out of it. What
Mhm.
about that rep that just burns through floor ups, burns through floor ups? Sure, he sells a lot of
Mm,
cars, but he's just constantly burning through your showroom ups. It's the same thing. It's the same
yeah,
cost. It's the
for
same
sure.
opportunity loss. There's no difference. We just ignore it because it's on the phone and the internet. And who cares if we have a 12%, 5%, 8% lead to sold? It doesn't fucking matter. We never can move that number. But the reality is you can move that number.
Mm,
It's how we move through the buckets, right?
yeah.
This is still a business where, the more people you talk to, the more appointments you make, the more people are going to show up, the more people are going to
Mhm,
show up, the more people are going to sell.
mhm,
That's this business. It's a numbers game. So
mhm.
if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know how your sausage is being made, if you don't know where you're leaking, then all you're doing is taking good money and throwing it at bad money,
The
right?
sausage.
Well, it
You know what? I
is.
no, I just laugh at that because you brought it up twice. And I just went to Costco for the first time in like, I don't know, 3 months. Because it was time for me to fill up my car. And I fill it up.
You fill up your car once a month.
No, I'm exaggerating, but I think the previous time I wasn't around a Costco. I'm like 10 miles from it, believe it or not, that's far in LA. So I'm getting gas. I'm like, you know what? I feel like a hot dog. So every time you bring up the sausage, I think of that hot dog I had. It was good.
Yeah, it was good, right?
It's
The
for $2, man. You can't
Grizzy.
beat that, man. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, line was like 20
Oh
people
yeah, of
deep. Like it
course
wasn't
it
even
is.
that late. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So
Wild.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, it's crazy. So we recently went and had a couple of in-store visits with our big dealer group in Atlanta, Georgia. These guys have 13 stores, and they are. I mean, just the epitome of great leadership. You're really lucky to be working for that organization. They've just hired a wonderful lady who is running the show there now alongside one of our really good friends and still a powerhouse himself, Zach. And so anyway, we just went in, and for the first time, we rolled out this lead calculator session with them, and I love it because I feel like when we go through this, and we've got everyone kind of huddled around, right, a classroom, and we go one by one, and everyone reports their numbers.
Their numbers.
We teach them where to look. So oftentimes we've got to pull some reports and do some preparation beforehand. And the bigger the sample, the better. If we can do it like a year to date, we get to see a bigger picture, a more accurate picture of how they're performing, right? So you can do month to date also. And then everyone passes the report around and takes their turn. And okay, how many leads did you take? Now we're going to do phone or we're going to do internet. Do we bunch them together sometimes? Yeah, but we don't like to do that, right?
No, we always like to break them up. You want to break it up because again, if phone performs better than the internet. Yeah, okay, you can be like, yeah, I just split the difference, but it's not a split of the difference. It's
Mm-mm.
who you have staff members that perform better on the phone and horrible on the internet and better on the showroom. It's like that old Susan, like we have like mystery shops, right? Like how many times do we have a mystery shop and the owner's on and it's like Billy's gonna do the shop and the owner's like, Billy's my best, that's my guy. What? Listen to this call, Billy's gonna kill it. And then we play the call and Billy just
And he
is a
doesn't.
train wreck. Horrible, right?
No, it
Because
happens.
but Billy's a showroom guy. He's great in the showroom. So Billy's
Mhm.
asking me questions over the phone of like, how's my credit? And do I owe money on my trade? Those are right. So it's a bad call because he's bringing the showroom to the phone. Let Billy be on the floor. Don't let Billy on the phone. Don't let Billy on the internet, right? Certain people deserve certain places, and sometimes we find that information out on the mystery shop, but most of the time 95% of the time, it's in the numbers and you'll see it loud and
Yeah.
clear.
But getting back to separating phone and internet, we do want to separate it because we know that internet converts at much, much lower rates than phone leads do. All day, all day, every day, because that phone customer is ready to buy. They're just further along in that buying cycle, and
Yep,
they've probably seen something on your website, and that's why they're calling you, right?
exactly.
But I love it. We go through all these, metrics with everybody, and they're telling us how many phone opportunities they've taken the month before, and then out of that, how many appointments they have set from that, and then we get a percentage, right? and
Yep.
then and then we go even further and say, okay, well, how many of those leads, opportunities actually came in, appointment or not? We're looking at how many out of all the people that you spoke to actually made it into the dealership, and that's the ticket. And
Well,
you
and
see that sometimes,
discrepancy
and it blows people away.
the discrepancy by how many internet leads are generated, how many appointments are made, and then how many people are internet leads that don't make an appointment that still show up. And the one that shocks me are the phone ups that made a phone up, called in the store, don't make an appointment and still show up. That means like I didn't like that phone call, but I still like the store enough to come in.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean, yes, there's the salesman who doesn't log the
I was
appointment.
just gonna
Very
say,
nice.
I'm like, let's be real. A
Well,
lot of
that's
that is,
there too, but
yeah,
there's
yeah,
also that customer
of
that
course.
just is
Yeah.
like, I didn't like the phone call. I didn't like,
Hmm.
and those are leaks. Those are the
Yeah.
things, it's not just do they do well with that lead to that appointment? It's what are they doing with it and how can we help them? This is the other flip of the coin is how can we make them better? Where can we improve on them, right? Are they not making that sticky appointment? Are they not opening up that inventory? If they're not hooking that trade, how do we tie all of these numbers back to our scripting and the word
Well,
tracks?
and that's where we say, okay, well, here is what you've gotten. Now
Right.
you know how valuable the training is. But what's interesting is that I feel like this concept, this part of the lesson is so important, and it needs to really be put at the forefront because look, whether it's our training or anybody's training, if you're not being accountable or setting accountability standards with consequences, then
Hmm.
the needle doesn't move. It's not going to
No.
move, right? And so this, it's something that I know you and I have talked about. We definitely want to incorporate more into the lesson we're going to have. So with that said, I am the creative team here at Proactive, and I will tell you that there will be some incredible new content coming your way that is geared to teach your managers not just how to train people and lead them, but how to keep them accountable. And
Yeah.
this is what's going to stop those leaks, move the needle, make more money for dealers all around. So, and work smart and just work smart.
Well, and we
So,
have to stop being afraid of the consequence. Oh, they're going to leave me if I hope. No, they want guardrails. They want those bumpers in the bowling alley lanes. They want you to be there to help them get better, not beat them
mhm,
up, not yell at them, not any of that. No one wants any of that. They just want to feel supportive and given the tools to
mhm.
help them get better, just like
Well,
anyone does.
and if they don't, listen, they probably weren't meant to be on your team.
Well, yeah, and they shouldn't be there. And maybe there's a
They
better opportunity
shouldn't
for
be
them
there.
somewhere else. Right.
And you're going to see that. We see that.
Yeah. But give them the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So, okay, we've got some stuff coming up. We've got whew, end of the year.
We got the big
So,
announcement of the 2026 management by fires that are going to come in December that everyone's going to be on the
yes.
edge of their seat, excited, waiting for.
I
Right.
do also want to mention the end of the year, we do prepare some really great content for anybody who is on our subscription platform, adaptvt.com. The end of the year, we really try to bring all of that foundational, those sales skills back to your salespeople, those things that are going to drive more traffic your way. So we're kind of going back to the basics last 2 months. So it's going to be heavy on appointment making, right? Opening up that inventory, showcasing your inventory, promotionals, and all that good stuff. The trade hook is going to be a huge part of that. Acquiring trades left and right is going to be the ticket here. And then also, let's see, I'm forgetting something, but something that was quite important. Objections. I believe there's some objections in there.
The
Follow up.
bumper directions and follow.
Follow up.
Yep.
Following up, leaving no stone unturned. Where, who do you follow up first? Because listen, that guy that is taking 1,000 leads a month and only making 100 and so appointments out of those are the leaks that you need to follow up with. Those leads that contacted you, either did not set up an appointment, maybe set up an appointment, a fake one, never showed up, right? All of those things are things that we need to go back and follow up
And
with.
and and don't forget that lead that came in September, October, we might be this is released in November, and the reality is customers have sat on their heels. They've waited for those holiday specials. They're not going to submit another lead. They're just going to start calling. They're going to start looking, or they're going to show up, or they're going to respond to whoever responds to
Mhm.
them. Be the store that is working everyone. It's the end of the year. There's nothing left to leave at the end of the on the table at the end of the year. There's nothing. There's not they're literally all those customers, all those leads from, December, November, October, come January, they're gone. They're dead.
Yeah.
Throw them in the
Yeah.
garbage, okay? You
Mhm.
need to finish this year strong. That follow-up is everything.
And they're looking for solutions. So if you can be that person, that dealership
It's everything,
that is
guys.
offering different creative types of solutions so that they can maintain the cash flow at hand. I mean, let's face it, people are looking for financial solutions right now. And
Yep.
so if
Keep
you can be
cash in
that
the
person,
bank.
even better. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome.
We
Thank you,
have lots of
Susan.
exciting stuff. Yes. Say hi to the family for me, please. Say hi to the
Yeah,
kiddos.
you
Good to see
too.
you as always.
All
And
right.
we'll see you guys on the next one. All
Thank
right.
you,
Get
everybody.
fired up,
See
you
you
guys.
soon.
See ya.
Yeah, let's finish this year.